I just am so excited that Nathan is here from Utah. I don't know if you are even from Utah anymore. You travel so much. But Nathan is a coach, a mentor. Well, he's one of the greatest legends in our business. But I want to personally thank you for the coaching you've done and the leading that you've done for me and for my organization. You're a great inspiration. And I'm glad that you all are here tonight because we're all going to learn how to take advantage of this next great opportunity with our company. Nathan Rex, thank you.
Thank you, Pat, Marguerite. Appreciate everybody hosting and being here tonight. We're going to go pretty fast. So if you're ready, fasten your seatbelts. You're going to need them, okay? We're going to go less than an hour. We're going to go very quickly through this information. I'm going to talk about 5 key points tonight. To start off, I'd like you to take your phones and kill them. Turn them completely off so we don't have interruptions. People don't have like phones ringing and distracting them, if you would, please. Let's do that. Grab a pen and a piece of paper, and you can jot down at least one note on each of these 5 points as I go through them tonight. My background is real estate. That's what I was doing when I was recruited by my brother-in-law into this company. And this is the exact same brother-in-law that went ahead and sponsored me into my first 2 network marketing companies, both of which ended up bankrupt. So I wasn't too excited to get the 3rd phone call from the same brother-in-law, as you might imagine, right? And he called and he started telling me all about this company, Nu Skin. And I'm not going to tell you the whole story tonight in the interest of time, but I will tell you that at a point in that conversation, he was being very direct with me. And he was challenging me. And he said something like this: Nathan, your real problem is you are in the wrong vehicle. And he was not talking about the car I was driving. He was talking about my real estate business that I was using to make the money in my life. And he simply said this: it's like you are pedaling a 10-speed bicycle. He said, me, I'm driving a Ferrari. It doesn't matter how fast you pedal that 10-speed, you will never catch me in my Ferrari. Now that's stuck in my head, that analogy. And I went to my office the next week and every day sit at my desk and ask myself the question, why is this a 10-speed? What's wrong with this thing? And over the course of 4 or 5 days, I started to see the obvious. He didn't have all the overhead that I had. He worked out of his house. He didn't depend on the region I did for my money, on all my closings. He had the whole state, the whole country he could work in. But what I really started to see was that he had a much better way. He had a much better opportunity. And he said to me, Nathan, this is the accelerated game of life. This is not 40 hours a week for 40 years and then you retire. He said, this is an opportunity where you can work hard one time and you have the opportunity, the potential to be done for the rest of your life. And he said, what I want to do is I want you to pump up. I want you to work with me. We're going to hit this thing like Mach 2 with our hair on fire, okay? And we're going to do it as fast as we can do it. And in 3 or 4 or 5 years, we're going to be done. Financially, we will never have to worry about money again the rest of our lives, okay? That was something that I just could not get out of my head. And today, we're going to talk about that opportunity because that actually happened to me. And I've watched that happen to thousands of other people. And as you just saw on the screen, there's tens of thousands more in China that are setting up for this right now. And they're going to do the same thing, okay? And so it is real. And it is something like you have never seen before in your life. And tonight I'm going to do my very best to explain it to you. And I want you to know that I feel a big responsibility because this may be the only hour our paths cross in our lives right here on this planet. And this may be the only shot you've got to hear about this. And so I want to give it to you as directly as I can. Before we start into this, I want to show you some numbers. These come from our own federal government in the United States here. They're a little bit old, but frankly, because of the last recession we just went through, the numbers are a little bit worse than these numbers right here. This is what happens to 100 people in the United States at age 65. 16 of them are dead. Didn't even make it to 65. Gone before then. 66 out of 100 are dead broke. They're living on less than $30,000 a year. They didn't seem to understand that Social Security was nothing more than a supplemental retirement program. It's not the whole thing. And yet they're trying to make it their whole thing. 13 people out of 100 are living between $30,000 and $60,000 a year. That's what they're surviving on during retirement. It's okay, but it's not great. And 5 people out of 100 right here are the couple you see walking hand in hand barefoot on the beach on the cover of the American Express Retirement Plan brochure. And there's only 5. They travel endlessly. They eat at the finest restaurants. They have no worries or cares. They have an idyllic retirement. Anybody know anybody like that? Very few are like that. Okay, 5 out of 100. And 1 person out of 100, you can hardly see it right there, 1 person out of 100 is considered truly wealthy, which means $10 million of net worth, excluding all debt. So if you don't have that, you're not truly wealthy. And a long time ago, I said to myself, I don't need to learn how to fail. I can probably just fail on my own, right? What I need to learn is I need to learn how that 1% who actually did it. How did they actually accomplish wealth? Have you heard it said that if you want to do what somebody else has done, then study them? You know, success leaves clues. Find out how they did it and then try to mimic that. And then maybe you can do the same thing. This is how the 1% actually did it. 10% CEOs of public companies got stock options that made them worth more than $10 million. Another 10%, top professionals, lawyers, doctors, consultants, dentists, these people with the extra initials behind their name, okay? The top of the top in their fields were able to become wealthy. And the Affordable Care Act that has changed healthcare in this country for good has made it sure that physicians will no longer ever get there by being doctors. It's just not going to happen. They'll all end up working for hospital groups or HMOs, and that's the way it's going to be, and they're just going to be employees, okay? This one, 5%, the super salespeople, top stockbrokers, top bond traders, top real estate agents, top life insurance salespeople, the best of the best, made more than $10 million. 1% of the 1% are what I call the lucky DNA club. The athletes, the entertainers, right? Super unique people. And as I'm scanning the audience right now tonight, I don't actually see very much lucky DNA. No offense, but you're probably not going to make it that way, okay? Probably got to do something else. So here's these slivers. When we look at those slivers, we could be depressed. We can say to ourselves, man, I don't understand. I'm never going to fit in here. I guess I never can be wealthy. And the good news tonight for everybody here is the red area. Almost 3/4 of the wealthy people in this country achieve that status by owning their own business, which is something everybody in this room can do if you want to do it. It may not be advisable if you're at a certain age in your life, because if you blow it after a certain age, you don't have enough time to recover. And there's a 75% chance that you will blow it, okay? So that's maybe too high a risk. Tonight, I'm going to show you the best business that you will ever see in your life. And here's why it's the best business. Because you can create such tremendous upside with this company, such tremendous growth in your business, but you do it with no risk. And I've never seen any business like that. I have other businesses. All of them require additional risk. Bankers, loans, employees, money, raise capital, take risk, right? To get the upside that you're trying to achieve. This is the only one I've ever seen where you can get that upside with literally no downside. Nobody here can try to build Nu Skin and in the end say, Nu Skin made me go bankrupt. Impossible. You can't put enough money into Nu Skin to ever have Nu Skin make you go bankrupt. All right? Yet you can extract as much money as you want to extract out of this company, provided you build the network of the size that makes that happen. So, to close up this little slide right here, does anybody in the room see a piece of this pie anywhere, any piece anywhere here that is labeled employee? I worked for somebody else my whole life. Is that up there anywhere? No, it's not up there anywhere. No, it's not. Okay? And you just have to understand that if you have decided to be an employee, that's fine. Whatever you want to do is fine. But understand the outcome. Understand the ramifications of that decision. You'll pay your bills, kinda, okay? You know, you'll have some vacation. You might get a few benefits out of it, okay? But in the end, you will end up with really nothing. Okay, just understand that about 6% of the U.S. population has a business that they either own or own part of, okay? Isn't it amazing that about 6% of the people actually end up okay in retirement? And 94% of the people who have jobs, 94% of the population work for somebody else. They don't really make it, okay? So you have to understand the outcome, that it is virtually impossible for you to have financial security working for somebody else. Okay, they're calling your shots, right? And if you agree with that, then you also have to agree that the only way you really can do it is you have to have your own business, okay? And tonight, I'm probably going to irritate you enough. I'm probably doing a pretty good job right now, irritating you, okay? That you may go to your boss tomorrow and walk in that office in the morning because you couldn't sleep all night after this meeting, and you walk in and say, I have to get 10 times more money or I'm out of here. I'm never going to make it otherwise. What's your boss going to say? There's the door. Don't let it hit you in the butt on the way out, right? Because you operate in an employment marketplace. You know, there's a standard out there. There's a market. And you can't go get 10 times market just because you think you want to so that you can be taken care of. You have no leverage on your boss. You can't demand outsized compensation, can you? No, you're going to get what the market will pay for those positions. And so that's why you have to have your own thing. Let's finish off this employee thing real quick. Everybody knows what a W-2 form is? Yes. W-2 form, right? What does W stand for? This is what the form you get when you file your taxes when you're an employee. You get it from your employer at the end of the year, right? What does W stand for? Work? No. Wages? No. Withholding? No. It stands for warning. And it's a double warning. If you fill out this form, you're screwed. You will never really have anything. Do you understand that? That's what it means. What's 1099 income? What's that? That's the kind of form you get when you have self-employment income. Money you take out of your own business, right? That's a 1099 form. How many tax advantages do people receive that have their own businesses in this country? All of them. How many tax advantages do you get if you're an employee? None. Don't you understand? The entire economic system of this country favors people that have their own businesses. Okay? It has nothing for employees. You're starting to get the picture now. Okay? You've got to figure out a way. So I'm going to show you a business of your own that can be something that is safe, that you can engage in starting at any point in your life. Doris started when she was 50 years old, is what he said. Okay, or somebody said that on the video. And she created this incredible legacy for her family, right? Okay, you can start at any age. I've seen people start in their 70s in this business, in their 80s in this business, and create a nice business for themselves. These are the 5 areas we're going to speak about tonight, right here. And we're going to go clockwise in this order and go around. These are the 5 key points you have to have in any business. If you're missing any of these points, the business will likely fail. Okay? So let's go talk about number 1. We're going to talk about market trends. The trends are the first thing on the list for a reason. All right? Trends are nothing more than where money is flowing in the economy now. And unfortunately, nobody here is so cool you can make your own trend. Sorry. So what you have to do is have enough vision to spot the trends in the economy before they're obvious to everybody else, right? And if you can spot the trends, then you can attach yourself to them. And if you can successfully attach, then the trends can sweep you along. What does it take to attach to trends if you can find the right movements of money in the economy and you know they're big, you know they're going to be long in duration, you know there's real opportunity there, those trends are growing and expanding? What does it take for you to attach yourself to those trends? You got to raise money, you got to hire people, you got to do the sales, the marketing, the production, the R&D, the manufacturing, the warehousing, the legal, the HR, and the list goes on, right? You got to do it all. In this case, you don't have to do that. You do one thing. You do the marketing, okay? Nu Skin's already made all the other investments to allow you to get in alignment, to attach yourself. A rising tide lifts all ships, doesn't it? And so if you have a trend that's big enough, it'll rise, it'll lift you up as well. So what is the trend we're doing in Nu Skin? The trend we're chasing is the anti-aging marketplace. It's going to be $1 trillion big in the next 11 or 12 years right now. It's growing really fast right now. This is driven because of 2 areas, right? People want to live better longer. And they want to look better longer. They don't want to spend the last 10 years, horizontal on a gurney, right? They don't want to lose their mind and be locked up someplace in a facility because it didn't end well. They want to live better longer. And they also want to look better longer. If they're going to live longer, they want to look better, right? We found out a little nuance about what people think about anti-aging. We're an anti-aging company, so we do research on this, right? Guess what we've discovered? People don't necessarily mind getting old. What they mind is getting ugly. And if they didn't have to get ugly as they got old, they wouldn't mind getting old so bad, right? That's the truth of it. And so people want to live better longer, and they want to look better longer. Those two things. That is what this company is focused on. Why are these demands for these two areas so big? And why are they growing? And why will they continue to grow for the next 20 to 30 years? Why do you think? Yes, the aging of the boomers, folks. And this day, today, 65,000 boomers turn 65 years old today in North America. And that will happen every day for the next 20 years. Okay? Today we have more people alive on this planet over the age of 65 than have ever been alive in all ages of time over 65. They're alive now. This is a relatively new phenomenon, right? It's like the last 50, 60 years people have actually lived over 65. Before that, in this world, everybody died, you know, in their 40s, okay? So this is a new thing. We are piling up billions of people that are like in these older age brackets that have never existed before. So they're creating this brand new market that is improving, increasing dramatically, right? They've got the money and they got the desire to live better longer and look better longer. Now when it comes to trends, two important things. You want to find trends that are long enough in duration that when you attach to them, you got enough time to go for the ride and get rich, okay? They got to be big enough in scope that a lot of people can play in that marketplace. That's what anti-aging is doing. Don't ever make the mistake, point number 2 on trends, don't ever make the mistake of confusing a fad for a trend. Fads are too short, not big enough, not long enough in duration for you to ever really base your future on that, all right? So you've got to find these things. We found them. We've identified them. A subset is obesity. This market is absolutely huge. It's a major problem. This problem can bankrupt America. 2/3 of Americans are overweight or obese. It's like the anomaly to find a normal weight person anymore. So this is a huge problem. We think we're coming to market with a really significant answer. I'm done with number 1. Did you write something down about that? Number 2, products and science. These are products we make for the outside of your body. We have over 300 of them. Any product you are currently using on the outside of your body, we have a product to replace that, and I promise you it will work better. That's all we focus on, all right? So we have those products, so you can look better longer, right? And we have products for the inside of your body, dozens of those products that help you to live better longer, correct? Exactly right. And so you'll see these as we go through them tonight. We'll talk about a couple. This is our new world headquarters facility in Provo, Utah. I love this 3rd floor right here because the entire floor is our new laboratory, 3 times bigger than the one that it replaces. And we have other laboratories around the world. Nu Skin has 75 full-time scientists on staff. What do they do all day long? They push the envelope on anti-aging. That's all they do all day long. New products, new ideas, new patents, new molecules, you know, new strategies for anti-aging. That's what they're focused on. And they don't have the not invented here syndrome, which a lot of companies have. They realize not everything's going to be discovered by them. And so if there's something outside, we're not afraid to go buy it. And these are just a few of the acquisitions that we've made over the last 10 to 15 years, all right? Pharmanex. We paid $135 million for that company. That company was selling their products in 28,000 pharmacies across this country. The day we bought them, we pulled those products out of all those pharmacies, and the only place you could buy them was from a Nu Skin distributor. The first full year after distributors only had control of those products, we sold 4 times more volume than they did through 28,000 pharmacies. That's the power of word-of-mouth marketing. Number 2, Knox Technologies out of Pennsylvania. We bought this company last year. We bought them because they have 2 very unique molecules that slow down the wrinkling process in human skin. Those molecules are not yet in any Nu Skin products, but they will show up in 3 or 4 years from now. The pipeline is full, ladies and gentlemen. The breakthroughs are going to keep coming into products that help you look better longer and live better longer. Okay, LifeGen Technologies. We bought the company 2.5 years ago. We partnered with them 4 years ago. And the first product in the partnership was such a home run that management said, we better buy these guys. We don't want somebody else getting their hands on this age-locked science. Okay? And so we bought them. And age-locked technology is what is powering the current rapid growth of this company right now. And then finally, the biophotonic scanner, the new third generation of this technology. The only technology on the planet that can tell you if you have the level of antioxidant protection that is required to defend your body every day or not. We have scanned 17 million people now with this technology. We have the largest nutritional database in the world by a factor of like 40 times. It's ridiculous how much more information we have. We know more about human nutrition than anybody on the planet. And we use that information to improve our products and make them better. This is based on Nobel Prize-winning science. Nu Skin owns all 5 patents that are filed internationally as well, and they've invested more than $100 million in this technology. I want you to understand these are unique, they're patented, you can't find them anyplace else, and this gives us a reason to exist in the marketplace. We do things no one else can do. I want to talk about age-locked science, okay? Age-locked technology is based all around gene expression science. That's kind of the key focus. All right, everybody here's got DNA, right? You do? Yes, you all have DNA. That is true. Okay? Has it changed since you were born? Yes? No? Are we confused? It looks like we are. The answer is no. It has not changed since you were born. Same exact code. If it changed, the police would never find the criminals. So it's exactly the same as the day you were born. But you have changed. So if the code's the same, but you are changing, why is that happening? It is because the expression of that code has changed. When they were decoding the human genome in this global project for 20 years, 10 years ago they finished mapping the entire human genome. And in the process of doing that, they discovered something else called the epigenome. Epi means above your DNA, all right? So this epigenome is the thing that translates the code and expresses it into the tissue of your body, which is why you change, all right? And the reason that expression changes is because of the food you've eaten, the air you breathe, the water you drink, the stress you suffered, and whatever else you did in your life, all right? So it changes. Why did Nu Skin want to buy LifeGen Technologies? Because they have been doing gene expression science for 35 years. They've got the largest gene expression database of anybody on the planet. And all LifeGen did all those years was take samples and then identify the youthful expression of those genes. This is how they should be expressed by your epigenome. They should look like this, downregulated, upregulated in these patterns. But as we get 40 or 50, sometimes they completely switch. They're like almost the opposite expression that we hope to have. And so what age-locked science does is it allows Nu Skin, now that we own the database, we can actually go out there and get compounds or molecules, and we can put them in your body, or we can put them on your body, and we can test them. And then we can see if they cause a resetting of those genes so they look like they did when you were younger, right? That's exactly what age-locked technology is all about. And so it's really, really exciting science. It's the cutting edge, the frontier of what's happening here. We are not a 100% match. We're about a 90% match right now. Give us 10 years, we're going to get really close. We're going to get this age-lock thing better and better and better as time goes on, okay? All right, so that's what we do. We have the ability to help these genes express themselves more like they did when you were young. I'll give you 2 examples. When you're young and you're in college, you can stay up for like 2 days straight. It's like, you know, if you're pulling all-nighters, you're studying, you're doing whatever you're doing, you know, you got the ability to do it. And it's not that bad, okay? When you turn 40 or 50, you have a hard time making 10 o'clock at night. You know, you just seem to get more tired and you fall asleep a lot sooner, right? The genes that regulate energy production in the cells of your body have changed their expression. We have a product called Vitality that you can swallow and you will feel energy because it helps to reset those genes, okay? I'll give you another example. When you're young, it seems like you can eat about whatever you want. Late teens, early 20s, it just doesn't stick very much, right? It's like you got good Teflon. But when you get to 40 or 50, it's kind of like you lost your Teflon. Like everything starts to stick. You look at it, it sticks, right? And that's because the genes that regulate fat metabolism and storage in your body have changed their expression. And it gets tougher the older you get, right? Wouldn't it be incredible if there was a company who knew how to give you the right components so you could reset those fat genes, right? So they acted more like they did when you were young. Wouldn't that be pretty amazing? That's exactly what this product is right here. We're the first company to ever do a genetic approach to weight management. These are a few of the ageLOC products right here. If you haven't tried these products, you're missing out, especially these pearls right here. Amazing products that will put elastin, put the elastics back into your face, right? Let's talk about weight loss for a moment. We'll focus on this product for just a second here. How come 95% of all the people that lose weight on a diet put all that weight back on and more within 3 years? Well, it must be that diets actually make you fat. And they actually do. So I'm going to give you some information about weight loss and weight management that you've never heard before. And I'm going to tell you when to take the notes down, okay? Because I'm going to say some things that are going to challenge conventional thinking and wisdom, and you're going to say, really? And I'm going to say, yeah, really. Here is the absolute truth. This is Joe. Joe Dieter, right here. Joe's fat. He knows he's fat. He's 230 pounds. If you look at Joe on the street, he looks just like this yellow outline of his body. Underneath that fat is this red area that we call his body engine. It's made up of his lean tissue, his organs in his body, and these are what burn most of the calories every day that he consumes, right? So today, because his body engine's where it is, Joe's burning 2,000 calories a day. Just keeping that body engine going and doing his thing. So now he says, well, I'm fat. I better go on a diet. And so he does, and he loses 30 pounds. But what he did not know was only 20 pounds of what he lost was fat. The other 10 pounds were lean tissue from his body engine. And because he's damaged his body engine now, he only burns 1,800 calories a day instead of 2,000. He's burning 2,000 calories a day less than before he went on his diet. And so that's a problem, because Joe's not going to be able to stay on his diet forever, is he? Eventually, he's going to go back to eating some of the foods he was eating before. And when he does that, he's going to put on more fat than ever, because he's damaged his body engine and he's not burning as many calories. He ends up right back up to 250. So have you seen this happen to people? They go on a diet, they shrink down, and then all of a sudden they go off the diet and they go poof. They go, crap, I'm even fatter. So then they shrink down again, then they go poof. And they shrink down again, then they go poof. That's the yo-yo cycle of dieting, this vicious cycle that people get trapped in. And it's actually true. The more you diet, the fatter you're going to get, because you're going to damage your body engine. All those diets that you all know the names of, that you hear on your television and radio every day, it's now been proven. 30 to 40% of all the pounds you lose on those kind of diets are from lean tissue from your body engine. Not good. Comes off your muscles, some off your heart. Okay? Not healthy to do. All right, so let's just do the math for a minute, right? Why do you get fatter? This is really simple math, okay? 200 calories a day less than before the diet, 30 days a month, is how many calories a month that Joe's not burning anymore? 6,000 calories a month that he's not burning anymore, that he used to burn before he did his diet, okay? How many calories in 1 pound of fat?
3,000? 3,500?
That's right, 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. No wonder we're so fat. We don't know how many calories in a pound. Okay? 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat, folks. So Joe is putting back on his body almost 2 pounds of pure fat every month. Like 20 to 25 pounds of pure fat a year because he did his diet. That's why he ends up fatter than ever. Write this down. You've never heard this before. Every pound of muscle on your body, lean tissue, burns 6 calories per hour. Every pound of fat on your body burns 2 calories per hour. Isn't that disgusting? Fat's 3 times more efficient just to hang on your body. It doesn't take that many calories to sustain itself and just hang there so efficiently, right? Well, it's made that way. The good Lord made your body that way so you could have some storage in times of famine. Because if it burns 6 calories an hour just like your muscle, you'd never get any storage, would you? So it's supposed to be like that, okay? But that's a real bummer when you're trying to take fat off your body. It's hard to get rid of it. So what do? Well, we make some changes, and we're going to change our thinking. Here's the first thing you change. Throw your scale away. It doesn't even matter. It's like irrelevant information. Okay? Isn't it?
Yes.
There's only 2 numbers we care about. How many pounds of lean tissue do you have? Because that's the furnace. The bigger that furnace, the more calories you're going to burn and the more lean you're going to stay for the rest of your life, right? So we want to care about lean tissue and we only care about body fat. Those 2 things. We don't care what the whole blob weighs. It's immaterial what the whole blob weighs when we set it on the scale, okay? Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. Immaterial. In 20 years, I promise you, there won't even be scales, okay? And we'll look back on them and we'll say, can you believe we used to think that meant something about our health when we stood on those things? It's ridiculous. Have you seen the new machines, you guys? You can stick them on the side of your body and within a minute or 2, they tell you exactly how many pounds of lean tissue and exactly how many pounds of fat on your body. And those are the numbers that really matter, all right? So it's going to replace scales. Scales are toast, all right? It's old thinking. Look at this guy. Here's somebody participating. I wish we had a little better light. Can we kill the light for just 1 second? Is there any chance of doing that? Does anybody know where the light controls are? I think somebody leaned on them. There you go. Really good. Just for a minute. Thanks, Marguerite. Okay, so look at this guy. He's young, so he's not super obese yet, but he's working on it. He's got a nice gut going right here. Okay? He's on his way, right? He decides he's doing the program. 30 days. Look what starts to happen. You start to see his triceps showing up here. You can see his chest muscles showing up. Because underneath this fat, there's actually a body engine in here, right? And what we're doing is just stripping the fat away, which is what you want to do. You don't want to lose body engine because then you're just going to get fatter, right? Look at this after 60 days. See his six-pack starting to show up right here. You can see his pecs and his arms, right? That's the difference. Okay, put those back up for a minute. If I take 2 people who lose 30 pounds each, and I stand one of them right here in front of you, and they lost weight the old way, on all those diets you know the names of, okay? And I have another one who's standing right here, and they lose weight on this new program, TR90. In clothes, they look about the same, don't they? It's hard to tell the difference with clothes on. But if I take the clothes off of this one right here, it's not a pretty picture. This is like sagging and baggy, okay? Yeah, it doesn't look good. This is what we call skinny fat sometimes. You look good in clothes, but you got all this fat hanging on you when you take your clothes off, okay? And then over here we have somebody who did it the right way on TR90. I take the clothes off of them, you know what you're going to see? You're going to see muscle, okay? Why do people lose weight anyway? Why do they go on diets? Why do you think they do? Do you think they do it because they go, you know what, if I don't do this, I'm going to have adult onset diabetes when I get to 50? Do you think they think that? Not a chance, right? They do it so they can look better. It's vanity. It's what drives people to do all these stupid crash diet things that they can't stay on anyway, okay? And so that's the problem, guys. So what makes you look good? What is it that makes you look sexy? Muscle. Muscle is what makes you look sexy, okay? It's the lines, the definition. That's where the energy is, right? That's where the power is in that muscle. And so that's what makes people look good. So if you want to look better naked, what do? That's right, you get on that product. And you can buy it on October 15th if you're an executive or you know one that will cough up one of their codes for you, okay? And then you have the chance to buy it. That's a 90-day supply. It's $1,200 in tax on top of that, and that's what it's going to cost you. if you want to do it, all right? But it's very unique. Why? Because it contains the components to sustain your body in so you don't lose any muscle. And it has other age-lock components that help you to strip the fat off your body like no one's ever done before, okay? That's why it is so powerful. Let's talk about the third generation biophotonic scanner. How many have been scanned in this room? Raise your hands. Awesome. Now we're going to do a little experiment. Watch this. You're going to find this very fascinating. If your score is more than 50,000, keep your hand up. Wow, look at that. If your score is more than 60,000, keep your hand up. If your score is more than 70,000, keep your hands up. If your score is more than 80,000, keep your hands up. Impressive. Anybody 90,000? 2 people? Stand up, both of you, please. Please, stand up. Okay, look at these 2 people right here. What you're going to notice about anybody who is like got a standing. Are your knees weak? Look at these 2 people. I want you to look at them. I do this in every room I do. When I get to the top scores in the room, guess what happens? Not one of them are fat. They're never obese. Okay? Because an obese person can't get their score that high. Thank you very much. You can sit down. Yeah, these people are lean. They got muscle. Okay? They're looking good in their older ages. Okay? You're not that old. All right. So why is that the case? Look at the top of the slide. As your body fat percentage goes down, your scan score goes up. Isn't that interesting? Isn't it amazing how TR90 and the scanner work hand in glove? They fit each other exactly. They're great companion products. Why? Because these antioxidants that we're measuring when we scan you are largely fat-soluble vitamins. So they tend to congregate in fatty tissues in your body. And if you got excess fatty tissue on your body, then you're spreading them over a larger area and you're diluting them so your score's not as high. And when you lose body fat on TR90, then you start to consolidate them into a smaller area so they're more concentrated. So your scan score goes up so it can protect you. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, these products work together really, really closely. So you should be doing both of them because you get double the volume if you do both of them. Right? And you put them together. And you'll help people more. You'll help them more if you tie these together. So why do we want your score high? Why is it good that your score is 50, 60, 70,000? What are we protecting against anyway?
Free radicals.
Free radicals. What are free radicals? Unstable molecules that rip apart tissue in your body is what they are. Okay? Where do you get these free radicals from? Air. Oxygen in the air is a toxin. Did you know that? Oxygen is toxic. It actually oxidizes things, right? It rusts things. So every breath keeps you alive, but every breath kills you just a little bit. Right? It's true. And you get them from your environment, don't you? Sure. Like what? Well, like the carpet in this room, the floor right here. This is like synthetic. It's made out of some kind of, synthetic material, out of oil, basically. And it's decaying a little bit every day. Probably the glue they stuck it down with is doing the same thing. And you're sucking in those fumes and just breathing them down. Those have free radical activity attached to those, right? Same with the chairs you're sitting on right there. And half the clothes you guys are wearing are made out of rayon and nylon and other synthetic materials, right? And so they're decaying. And worse, you put those in the dry cleaners and you take them home and you stick them right on the skin of your body and suck the chemicals from the dry cleaners right in your skin. That's a good one, isn't it? And when you walk outside after like lunchtime and your car's baking in the sun at 120 degrees inside, that's why you can't leave, kids in a car, animals, right? It's 120 degrees in there when it's summer and it's baking out there. And you crack the door open and you jump in and slam it, crank the AC, and just suck in all the fumes from everything inside that car that is all 100% synthetics. Your carpet, your seat, your dashboard, your instruments, all the components, and you just take a nice deep breath of that stuff, don't you? It's just wonderful. Then you take your cell phone and you stick that up to half your head all day long, just like this. Most people use it on one side all the time, okay? And this is just low-level radiation, just generating free radical activity. When you go home, you're so impatient to get your food done, you put it in the microwave and stand on the other side and just watch that thing spin and cook the other side of your head over here. It's everywhere. How many free radical hits will you take before midnight tonight? Every human being. 60 trillion. And if you're a smoker, you're going to be close to 100 trillion. Okay? It's an absolute war inside your body every day. And you need to pay attention to it. And if you have a really high score on the biophotonic scanner, we know you've got a lot lower damage going on in your bodies from free radical. How do we know that? Because there are urine tests you can actually do. And you can measure the amount of free radical damage coming out of your body. And we've done the tests, so we know. If you got high scores, low damage. Low score, high damage. Why should you care about high damage? Well, what's the aging process anyway? It's nothing more than the cumulative free radical damage you allow your body to suffer through the course of your life. You allowing yourself to have big hits, or are you going to take lower hits? Okay? You just look at smokers. They're giving themselves huge hits. You want to smoke? There's nothing we can do for you. We can't put enough antioxidants in your body to counteract that. Okay? So knock it off. You know, you owe it to people around you. You don't think you owe it to yourself. Okay? So do it. And if you smoke, your score is going to be like 13,000. Like those are really low scores. That's dangerously low. Average American, 19,000. Horrible. You know, the average American eats 3 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. 2 of those are French fries. Okay? That doesn't even count. You're down to 1. No wonder we're in such horrific condition in this country. What does the USDA say? Just right over across the border here. What does the USDA now recommend fruit and vegetable consumption daily? How many servings? 9 to 15 now. For years it was 5. 5 to stay alive. They did that program in all the schools. 5 fruits and veggies every day. They beat that in everybody's head, right? Well, now they finally admitted that the fruits and vegetables you pick up at the store don't have the nutrients they had 20 years ago. Depleted soils, growing too far from where you eat them, put in trucks, and they truck them across the whole country, stick them on the grocery store racks, you pick them off, you take them home, you cook them, kill them one more time, and then you eat them, right? Yeah, you're not getting much, okay? So now they've upped it. Now they say you need 9 to 15. All right, listen. If you're willing to eat about 20 servings a day of really high quality veggies and stuff, you don't need to take our product. You don't even need our supplements, okay? You can probably do it by just, grazing enough every day, okay? Most people can't do 20 servings. They got to work and do other things. They can't just sit there and eat all day long, okay? And so if you are thinking about this, you need to be on Life Pack so you have that protection in your body. I'm done with number 2. Sorry I took so long on that, but I want you to realize these are real products that make a real difference, and you need them in your body, all right? Number 3, the company. These are our partners. You got to pick your partners carefully. You want to make sure you're making a good choice because it will dictate how it turns out in the future for you, right? These are things that are mostly out of your control. So you got to make sure that they're going to be in control if they're your partner, right? Look at the compounded growth rate of this company. The last 3 years, almost 19% compounded. This year will be more than 20% compounded growth. This company is defying gravity. Usually, as companies get bigger, their growth rate slows down because they're trying to pull a bigger base along with them, right? They're building off a bigger base. This company is actually accelerating as it's getting bigger because they're just like, they're hitting the ball. They're hitting it every time, you guys. They're buying right kinds of technologies. They're not afraid to make the acquisitions. They're pushing the envelope on anti-aging. The boomers are turning 65 at 15,000 a day. The market's growing. It's like impacting that market because it's like multiplying that market, okay? All these things are moving in our favor to make this company grow at amazing rates, and that's what's going to continue to happen. That's real opportunity, right? I mean, if you have a job and you're going to get an employer, wouldn't you like a company that you think is stable, that's solid, that's going to make sure your check clears the bank every time? Or do you think you want to go to like a little startup company where there's no guarantees and you never know if the check's going to clear, you don't even know if management knows what they're doing and if they can pull it off? Well, when you're an employee, you really want to be with a good company. So why is it different when you do network marketing? Why do people run to stupid startup companies that don't even know if they can make it work and they put their whole future on the line? Crazy. They like lose their mind when they look at network marketing for some reason, right? This is a great company. I took this screenshot off of Fox News 2 weeks ago. Look at that. Who's number 4 on the list? U.S. companies the world loves. And look at that growth rate in China last year. I mean, we're blowing away everybody on that whole thing right there. So we have all kinds of accolades in this company. Publicly traded, symbols NUS, 2.17 billion in sales last year, 53 countries. But the best one is this one. 300 million meals served via Nurse the Children. I don't know if you understand how many children die every year in this world still from malnutrition. 5 million. Yeah. How many people died in 9/11? 3,600 or so, right? It was horrific. The Pentagon, the Twin Towers, you know, Pennsylvania. I don't want to minimize that at all, because that was a horrific, you know, experience for this country and the people who lost their lives. But ladies and gentlemen, 5 million a year and nobody is talking about it? Come on! As a company, we decided several years ago, we're going to solve this problem. Even if nobody else wants to help us, we're going to do it. And we instructed our scientists to make nutritious meals for these starving, malnourished kids around the world. Do you know that you can feed starving kids bowls of rice and they'll die right in front of you? Because there's no nutrients, it's just a bowl of carbs. They need nutrients to recover, to build brains and bones and, you know, make them strong, right? We go in and we feed these kids that are like on death's doorstep, we just feed them these Vitamills. It's like near miraculous, you know? Within a couple of days, they're like up, and within 2 weeks, they're running around. They're back to normal. I mean, it's incredible, right? And as distributors, we have the opportunity to spend $39 a month and feed a child for a month, 2 meals a day, 60 meals. And everybody here can give up 6 Starbucks and save a life. And if you don't do anything else with us tonight, then help us do this. Okay? New Skin Corporate covers 100% of the overhead. It's not like some of these charities where half the money goes to pay for people running it, right? 100% goes to food. The United Nations depends on us. We're one of the largest donors now of food to the United Nations Save the Children program. Okay? So, you know what? Help us do it, you guys. You know, we've made really big strides, but we've got a long way to go. And so help us to do these with these meals. All right, I'm done with number 3. I'm on 4. Almost done. Still alive? Still awake? Yes. Taking notes? Yes. You're with me? Yes. Okay. Let's talk about the compensation for a moment. All right, you sign up as a distributor. And then you have the ability to become an executive. That's the first leadership position in this company, is executive. All right? You cannot play the game of New Skin until you become an executive. Don't forget that. The executive income last year worldwide was $4,812, about $400 a month. You can be an executive in 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. Those are your choices. Most people do it in 2 months. Okay? You may say to me, $400, not a lot of money, Nathan. My answer is, yeah, not a lot of time. 2 months is all. That's pretty good. That's a car payment. It starts to change people's future just in that short of time. And then once you're an executive, you've done it. So now you can help other people to become executives as well. And what we do is we do it in 4s. 4, 4, and 4. The first 4 make you what we call a Ruby executive in New Skin. The average income last year for all Rubies was $32,640, or about $2,700 a month. Now, the average time that it takes those people from the day they start to the day they become Rubies, 1 year. Excuse me, some people do it faster, like in China. Some people take longer, like here, or wherever else, right? It doesn't really matter, just do it, okay? Make sure you do it, because all of a sudden there's 32,000 coming in. Now, most people are still working their day job when they get to this level. You know, they're still like going to work and everything. They're doing this evenings and weekends, and they're patching this business together and pulling it off the ground and getting it started. But somewhere between this 4 and the next 4, they fire their boss. What happens is they watch their regular check from their job, and here comes their New Skin money. Their New Skin money is doing this. And when it gets about equal, then they have this option. They get this decision to make, right? And they say to themselves, I could really accelerate my thing if I was full-time. And so they decide to let this go, and they just accelerate, okay? So that's what you have happen. When you get 8 on your front line, you're now what we call a diamond executive in New Skin. Average income, $126,384, or a little more than $10,500 a month that's now coming into your bank. every month. The average time that it takes people from the day they start till the day they become diamonds, 2.5 years, 30 months. All right, how many of you in this room have been doing something for 30 months to pay your bills? Nobody works in Washington. That's what's wrong with this country. All the rest of us are working out there. That's where all the money's going. Now I get it. Are you doing something? I hope. Okay. Yeah, so are you making $10,500 a month? Maybe not. And if you are, and you can do it 1 month or 2 in your current financial vehicle that you're driving in your financial life right now, what would it take for you to do it 12 months in a row? What would be the personal toll to do that? Would that be really hard to pull it off? Would it be too big of a price? Folks, there's a lot of people out there running on these financial treadmills, and they just keep trucking. And guess what? They keep getting steeper. Keep feeling harder and harder the older they get. They don't know how much longer they can keep doing this. But then they look behind them, and here's these big jaws back there called all your bills, all your debt. And it's like gaping after you, right? And so you just, I better keep running. When are you going to get off the treadmill? When does it ever stop? Never in your current vehicle? If you stop, do the jaws chew you up? Yeah. Okay. Would you like to find a vehicle where you could work hard at one time and get off the treadmill and the treadmill keeps going and there's no jaws? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Get the last 4. This is what we call a blue diamond executive. Average income for blue diamonds last year, $617,232. Just a little more than $51,000 a month. That is serious money in anybody's book. Okay? Is that even possible in your current financial vehicle? Probably not, right? Not even in the cards. Okay? The average time from the day people start till the day they achieve the average blue diamond income, 7 years. 7 years is a long time when you're 21. It's a 30-year life. But when you're 49, it doesn't matter. It's like, man, it just flies by every 7 years, right? 7 years is nothing. Okay, the question is, what are you going to do the next 7 years? Right? Because if you continue to persist in your current financial vehicle, that it's not even possible, then you're going to be in the same place you are now, 7 years from now. The question is, will you consider a different way, maybe a better way, you know, a different financial vehicle than you've been in so far in your life? That's something to think about. So how many people were blue diamonds at the end of 2012 in New Skin? Just under 1,000. That's pretty impressive. You know, a $2 billion company with 1,000, almost 1,000 people making that kind of money? Folks, this is a greater percentage of payout than any corporation, than any place, anywhere, okay? This is not an easy business, you guys. This will require the best you can get it, okay, for you to become a team elite in this company. Go to the top, be a blue diamond, okay? But I can tell you this, the cards are stacked in your favor here better than they're stacked anywhere else. You got a better shot of pulling it off here than you do anywhere. How many people make more than $500,000 where you work right now, every year? 1? None? 3? 5? 20? In a huge company? Maybe? Okay, a friend of mine gave me this stat, about a year ago. Have you heard of ExxonMobil? That little oil company? Okay? $200 billion a year in revenue. 100 times larger than Nu Skin. 2011, they had 67 executives make more than $500,000 in cash compensation. 67. 100 times larger. We have just under 1,000. We're 100 times smaller. Where do you got better odds? Okay, we're going to skip that. We'll go to this one. 2010. Every 6 days, somebody became part of the $1 Million Circle. So here's what it means. When you join Nu Skin and you start to receive bonus checks at your house, okay, Nu Skin keeps track of those. And as soon as they clip 1 million of total checks sent to your house since you joined the company, then you join the $1 Million Circle, okay? And as soon as you get your checks that clip 5 million, you're part of the 5 million circle, then the 10 million circle, then the 20 million circle, okay? Pat and Marguerite's son right here are part of the $20 million circle. Okay, Nu Skin's paid him more than $20 million, long time ago. Okay, so they've done really, really well. in this business, okay? And Dora was out there. She just got her 10 million circle, right? But you're accepted for her, okay? Lucky you. Okay. And so every 6 days, somebody somewhere in the world of Nu Skin clips the million. That was 2010. And then it accelerated. And in 2011, it was every 5 days somebody clipped the million. And last year, 2012, it accelerated. And every 4 days, somebody clipped the million. And I don't know when it's going to happen, folks, but mark my words. 2 or 3 years from now, it'll happen that we'll make a new millionaire every single day. I promise you that's coming. Okay, what will they say about us then? Will Forbes and Fortune and Wall Street, will they write something positive then about our company? Or will we continue to be the Rodney Dangerfield of business and get no respect? Probably. It's hard for traditional corporate people to admit that something can work this good. It's hard to take it. You know, hard to swallow when you believe the other way your whole life, right? Last point, number 5, timing. Last year we did just a little more than $2 billion in revenue, and we have about 1,000 people at that Blue Diamond position, okay? We're going to do $5 billion in the next 3 or 4 years. We'll be at $5 billion in revenue. And accordingly, we have to have 2,500 people at that level for us to do that volume. We don't ever put this in stores or anything. Only way we sell these products are through these distributor channels, right? So we have to build the leaders to build the channel. So there's 1,500 more spots available. That's what's available if you just want to dig in and decide you're going to get after it and you're going to do this business. That's what it's going to take. You've got to take action. You cannot just sit there. You can't delay. You can't procrastinate, you guys. You got to do something about it, okay? This is the best business you will ever see in your life. I've tried to prove it to you tonight. You need to go online. Look it up. We're an open book. We're totally transparent. We're a public company. All of our numbers are out there. The deeper you dig, the more you're going to like what you see in this company. And if you don't do it now, I promise you, 2 or 3 years from now, somebody's going to bump into you in your life and they're going to say, hey, have you seen that Nu Skin company? They're going to the moon. You know, these are $5 billion. And you will remember tonight that I told you that that would happen to you. Okay, remember, because it's going to happen if you don't do something now. You know, I've never met a Blue Diamond yet in this company who's enjoying the benefits of being at the top of this plan. They've built a tremendous network. They've got this recurring income stream coming every month. I've never heard one of them yet say, Nathan, you know what? I wish I would have waited 5 more years before I joined Nu Skin. Never heard one of them say that yet. Never. On the contrary, they will admit to you, you know what? I wish I would have found this 5 years sooner. And I wouldn't have had to go out and trade my life away at that company for 5 additional years. I could have been doing this and making some real headway on my life. All right? And so that's it. You know, and if you don't do it then, 2 or 3 more years is going to go by, and somebody else is going to come to you and say, have you seen that Nu Skin thing? You see that new product they came out with? Everybody who takes it turns 30. It's unbelievable. And you're just going to go, like I should have done it. You're going to want to jump off a building, right? Because we're going to get better and better. And the market's going to get stronger and stronger. And we're going to get bigger and bigger as a company. And you just don't want to miss this, you guys. Okay, listen. We're done now, basically. Okay, if you want to use product only, great. Buy one of these packages. There's all kinds. You can pick your medicine, okay? Whatever you like, whatever tickles your fancy, get one of them. They're $365 each. And if you want to do the business, then we recommend you buy 3 of these. And the reason we recommend you buy 3 of them is so when you do that, you understand it satisfies the first requirement for you to become an executive in this company. And then you can play the game. You can't play the game otherwise, right? So that's what it's going to take. That's why we recommend you do that to get off to a quick start. And do it now before the end of this month. Now, we have this launch. And there's some really important things you got to do by the end of this month if you want to play in this launch. We're going to take a 10-minute break. And I'm going to spend about 15 minutes explaining the launch to you if you want to stick around. If you don't have time and you have to leave, no problem, okay? Take off. That's cool. But just do it quick and get out of here, okay? So we can sit and talk to the rest of the people about this launch coming up. Now, one more thing. Tomorrow, I will be in Philadelphia at noon doing the same thing. Everybody here probably knows somebody there. think who you know up in Philadelphia. All you got to do is call him and say, go listen to this guy. He's made more than $20 million, okay? I'll do a good job. I won't embarrass you. I promise you they'll like what they hear. And they might even end up joining, okay? I'll be in New York City tomorrow night in Manhattan. I got a doubleheader. Manhattan at 6, Queens at 8, okay? So, you know, who do you know up in the tri-state area, New Jersey, New York, you know, Long Island, whatever, right? Call a couple of people and tell them to go. Tell them to come and talk to me. I'll play like I know you, okay? And I'll turn right around. I'll say, what a great person, man. You're lucky. And I'll shoot them right back at you, okay? And tell them to go talk to you and get signed up, all right? So that's what we'll do. On Thursday, I'll be in Ottawa, Canada, the capital of the country. I'll be there at noon. Ottawa on Thursday. I'll be in Toronto Thursday night. Who do you know in Toronto? Everybody here knows somebody there. There's 5 million people up there, okay? And then we'll be just north of Detroit in Pontiac, Michigan, in the Detroit area at noon on Friday. And that's the end of the tour for me, all right? So just think where we're going. Just put them in the room. You could have business in all these cities by Friday, okay? It can happen really fast if you wanted to. Anyway, thank you, Pat, Marguerite, Lisa, everybody else, Art, for putting this together and hosting this day. Let's give them a big hand for hosting. Thank you very much. Come here.
Well, before some of you leave, just want to let you know that we're going to have another meeting here in the same room Saturday between 10 and 4. Okay, we'll show you all the product and the business too. All right? Saturday, 10 to 4. Same room. Got it?
All right. Before midnight, September 30th. That means 2 a.m. October 1st in Washington, D.C. Right? Because you're 2 hours behind, or 2 hours ahead of Mountain Time. So you guys have an extra couple hours. You get to go into the 1st of October. All right? Sponsor 4 contacts with any combination of those packages. That will generate 4,200 group sales volume. Between that and this, you become an executive in this month of September. All right, so in 6 days, you take advantage of the whole month. The next thing you do, notify your upline Ruby and Blue Diamond executives of your goal, okay, to do this by the 30th. And get their commitment to be available for 3-ways and webinars and to help you meet with people and get this done. Don't try to do it by yourself. Make yourself accountable to people in your upline, and they will help you do this. 3 or 4, agree to provide each of these 4 new distributors one of your TR90 codes, okay? These are good for 2 packages, right? And then on October 8th, for use on the October 15th package. I guess I got that wrong. So these are good for 2 packages. You're going to get the codes on October 8th, and you're going to use the codes on October 15th. That's when you can buy 2 packages, which would generate about 2,100 in personal sales volume, okay? So summarize, just to put it on one screen right here, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to do this before September 30th. You buy your packages, you get 4 other people to be distributors and buy their packages, you make sure your upline helps you do this, and you promise these people a code, a code, a code, a code, and you're going to use a code. So how many codes do you get? 10. You get 10 codes. So you got 5 codes used right there. You got 5 more codes you can use if you're smart about it. All right, so here is what we say with this, right? Sponsor 4, get it done by the 30th. You get 10 TR90 codes on October 8th. Okay? All right. Phase 2. Phase 2. Here's the objective of Phase 2. To maximize all your TR90 codes. Okay, you become an executive, you got 10 codes. Now the objective is to maximize the codes. There's only 36,000 packages of TR90 for all of North America. That's it. 36,000. They're going to go really fast. So you have to have a plan to maximize your codes or you won't get them used, okay? So here is Phase 2. This is October 15th, or 1st, October 1st to October 15th. 1, October 1st. Have a consultation with all those new executives who just finished it the night before. And tell those executives it's time to make a strategy to ensure that you have executive creation and LOI creation. And what you want them to do is to come up with 9 total names of people that are committed to use these codes on October 15th. 9 names. Why do we have 9 names? You'll see that in just a moment. October 8th, I'm going to call them and verify that they each received their 10 codes from Nu Skin. I want to make sure they didn't get missed over for some reason, right? But they actually got the codes from Nu Skin. And then I'm going to make sure, I'm going to tell them, I'll call you tomorrow. I want you to, now that you have the codes, make the assignments of those codes to those 9 people. On the 9th, I call them back and I confirm the assignments. And I have them give me the names and the associated codes. Tell me this code, who's the person that is going to utilize this code? This code, who's the person that's going to utilize that one? This code, who's the person that's going to utilize that code? I want to make sure they've got the assignments all made with real names by them. October 10th, I'm going to make sure that every distributor who has one of those codes goes into Nu Skin's order system, the regular system, not the LTO system, the regular Nu Skin order system at NuSkinUSA.com, right? And they actually place an order. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's enhancer, lip balm, or hand lotion. I don't care. I don't care if it's 5, 10, 20 bucks. I don't care what the product costs. I want them to go in and know how to put in their username and password, to put in their name, their shipping address, their billing address, their credit card information. I want all of that stuff auto-populated in the system on the 15th. The only way it's going to be auto-populated is if they've already placed an order before in the system. So I'm going to have them place the order on October 10th. And I'm going to make sure that all that stuff's in and that that credit card clears on that day. If it clears on October 10th, there's a very high likelihood it will clear on October 15th. Because most credit card companies do not expire a card until the end of the month. Right? So if it works on the 10th, it'll probably work on the 15th. So I'm going to make sure I got that done, and that's all in the system already. Okay, then, the last 3 items here. October 10th, I'm going to have a webinar, and I'm going to show them the exact order screens at the LTO website. Do you understand they're different? Yes. The one I just had them place the order in is the regular Nu Skin ordering system, right? On October 15th, you don't go there to order. You cannot order, TR90 on that website. You have to go to lto.nuskin.com. lto.nuskin.com, okay? And that will put you immediately in. You want to be logged on at about 9:30 Mountain Time or 11:30 here in the morning. You want to be on a half hour before. And just be there. Be logged on and be waiting, okay? You might want to have 2 computers going, like an iPad going and your laptop going. Just in case one of them screws up or blows up or something happens, okay? Then you got a backup. You're already in there. You're in the purchase room, okay? You've got one code. Your objective is to get your code used. Your 9 people, their objective is to get their codes used and get it all done in the first 5 minutes, okay? How many played in the ordering last Thursday, the trial? Did you get skunked or did you get something? A lot of people didn't get anything, right? How fast did that sell out? 3 minutes for pearls, 7 minutes for the Reiki mat, right? Did that freak you out? Yeah. Did that give you a little bit of urgency about how this is going to go down? Yes. It is. Okay, so you can't be going to the bathroom at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. Got it? You better be like present in front of your computer or you're going to miss it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to walk them through that. I'm going to show them the screenshots. That PowerPoint is available right now. If you go to Nu Skin USA and you go to TR90 Tools, there's a PowerPoint that shows you the whole ordering process. You need to download that and walk your team through that. And I'm going to do it 5 days before the deal happens. Once I know who's got the codes, and I know they're committed to place the orders and use the codes, then I'm going to have the webinar for those people. Nobody else really needs to know, do they? Just those people. October 14th, the day before, I'm going to make personal contact with each one of them to review all those 9 people, to make sure they're set and the 9 people are set, that nothing's happened in the last 4 days. Sometimes the transmission falls out of their car. and they end up spending $2,000 to get a new transmission, and they don't have any money now to order at the LTO. I want to know if somebody blew up in those 4 days. And I'm going to replace them with somebody that will actually use the code. And then, yeah, I'm paranoid. You're right. Only the paranoid survive. Ask Andy Grove, okay? October 15th, 8 a.m. 8 a.m. I'm going to call them 2 hours before it goes down. I'm going to make sure they're awake. They're not getting their nails done, or at the gym, or walking their dog, or anything else. They're in their house. They're getting ready to go. They've been to the site. They're getting logged on, and they're going to make it happen. All right? So this is what's going to happen. Just look at these numbers right here for a second, and you'll see them. Okay. So here's you. You're going to become, you're an executive. You did that at the end of September. So you're an executive, and you're going to order 1 code, 2 packages, and it's going to generate 2,100 points. Right? Okay? You're an executive, so that's all you need to do. That's fine. Okay? Here's your distributors that you promised each one of them a code if they would help you to become an executive, because they could play in the LTO with you, right? So they get 1 code. They order 2 packages. They're committed to do that. And they all do 2,100 in volume. And here's 5 other people that are either customers or distributors. Maybe they get the business. Maybe they just want to use product. I don't know who these are going to be. These all could be additional people for that executive. Or they may be that one of these people says, hey, it's my sister. She really will do it. I promise she'll use the code. She'll order 2 packages. She wants to be on the product, and she's committed to do it, right? Remember, the product's not available until next April. And these are 90-day packages. You would need 2 of them if you wanted to stay on it all the way till when you can buy it again. So some people are going to buy 2. Okay? All right. So here you go. You've got another code, a code. So there's 10 codes. That's fully maximizing all those codes right there. Right? Yes, it is. Your objective, ensure all 4 distributors fully use their code. Ensure 5 additional customers or distributors use their codes. If you did that, your total LTO group sales volume would be 21,000 points. If you only get half your codes used, then it will be 10,500 points. And it's just the 15th of the month at 10:30 Mountain Time. And it's all done. Okay? All right. So that's what we're talking about by the 15th. What are the best weeks of the month? Every month. What are the best weeks? The last week of the month. New Skin does half their volume the last week of the month. Right? Because it's a deadline. You know, people procrastinate. Deadline's coming up. Let's go get it done, right? And so the last week of the month is always the best week. You don't want to let the whole last 2 weeks of this month go, do you? Just because you had a good LTO? No. So here's the next one, Phase 3. Phase 3 runs from October 16th to October 31st. The objective here is create executives. All right? That's the objective. Phase 1 was you become an executive. Phase 2 was maximize all your codes. Phase 3 is now create other executives in your team. So watch this. This is the plan right here. Number 1, ensure executive creation for all LOIs in October who are within striking distance of executive and get them finished. Right? No vacations. 2, consult with each new executive, October 1st, September 30th, in your team to review their LTO execution or the use of their codes. While it is fresh on their mind, I want to say, how did it go, Howard? Did it happen the way you thought? Did you impress on people enough how important it was to use your codes? Oh, you only got 2 codes used and 8 people got nothing? What were they doing? How come they didn't get them used? Were they not in front of their computer? Did they not understand? We are not just training for this LTO. We're training our distributors for the next LTO and the next LTO and the next LTO, right? This is an ongoing process. You've got to get better at it because it's always going to happen, right? And so I'm making sure Howard understands what happened. We talked about it. So he understands how to improve it next time. 3, set new goals for all of those new October 1st executives to complete Ruby qualification in the current cycle. The cycle starts October 1st, doesn't it? It ends March 31st. They want to go on the next trip? Then they've got to complete Ruby qualification in this cycle. All right? 4, devise a strategy or a work plan to support their Ruby goal. Make a plan with them. This is where they say to you, Nathan, I need your help. My goal is to be a Ruby. Okay, when can you be here? What's your schedule? When can I get you to come here, to go there, to be on webinars? Can I have a webinar every Wednesday night at 8:45? Can I do this? Can I do this? And we make a plan. We make a work plan so that we can support them to ensure they get on the next success trip, right? All right, so here's what it looks like graphically. Okay, look at this. Okay, so this is October. You've already done 2,100. You got to make sure your ADR is active, so you're active and you can get the bonus check, right? Okay, so you got an ADR. Look at these people. What they did is these people ordered 1,050 points in September. That's what made you an executive by the end of this month, right? These people all did 1,050 points. And then, on October 15th, they used their code and did 2,100 additional points, right? 2,100 and 1,050 is 3,150. October 15th, these people, in the 2-month period, September and October, have accumulated 3,150 points, right? Yes, they have. All they need to make executive is 1,350 more points. I can go to work with them in the last 15 days of October, the best time of the month. And I can get them to sponsor 1 or 2 more people or get other products sold, and we can get it done. So these people can all become executives before October's finished. Guess what you just did? You just became a Ruby in the current cycle. And if you maintain them, you're going to go on the next success trip. Right? Can you see how that's not going to be that hard to get there? If you got them that far, not going to be that hard to get there. Now these people are a little further away. Some may do it, some may not, okay? But they've already got a whole bunch of volume here. They've got 2,100 because they use 2 codes perhaps, right? Use 1 code, excuse me, with 2 packages. 2,100, 2,100, 2,100. All they need is 2,400 more to become an executive. We got 2 months or 2 weeks of the month to get it done, the best 2 weeks to get it done. So this would be a way that you would really accelerate and really take advantage of this limited time offer that's coming up here in the next 5 weeks, right? So assist these distributors to finish executive status by October 31. Any one of those customers or distributors that want to do it, help them finish by October 31. If you were to finish them all, if they all did what I showed you, okay, your total volume, GSV would be 40,100 points. Your check would be $9,624 on November 20th. And that does not count the bonus pool. You'd probably get another $4,000 in bonus pool. So you're going to be almost $14,000 if you did that on November 20th. Okay? So it all starts right now in the next 6 days, right? Who do you have in the next 6 days that is going to become an executive? Write it down. Ask them if they want to try this plan. Show it to them. I actually recorded a webinar of this for a team of mine. And if you want the webinar, then ask your upline. Maybe they can shoot it to you so you can show this to people with me explaining it if you like. Okay? And you can see if they want to play the game. Ask them, would you like to try to shoot for a $9,000 check on November 20th? If you'd like to do it, then let's get you to executive now. Right? Before the end of this month. Let's go get it done. Okay? I talked to a person this afternoon right before we started the training. And the person just heard me in Miami last week, and they've decided they're doing 4,500 this month. They're going to get it done because they want to be an executive. They want their codes, and they're going to go get it done. We will create several hundred more executives from people who will see this before the 30th of September. They're going to see it all over the country, and there's people who are going to do it. They're going to get it done, okay? So if you only did half of it, probably going to be around 5,000, okay? Because you're going to have some bonus pool money, maybe 6,000. If you only do a quarter of it, you're going to be around 2,500, okay? If you do a quarter of this, 25% of what I've shown you on November 20th. That's still a great check, right? Their first executive checks, $2,500 on November 20th. That's a pretty good way to start your business. Not bad at all. All right, we're done. Thank you very much for being here.